Thank you. All right. So starting off the night, as vice principal, and one of the things I do at East Union is I help with the mitigation and the COVID mitigation on campus, and learning how to do school differently with social distancing and checking the surveys every day and all of those things. And it has been quite a learning curve for me and the students as well. But the kids that are coming to school are so happy. I stopped and I had a conversation with a former student of mine, and he was just so happy to be out of the house and just so happy to be interacting with other people, having an opportunity to, sit down and have lunch with people. And our experience at school has been it's really been remarkable in how compliant the kids are with wearing their masks and keeping their distances and being kind and respectful to teachers. And you can really tell that the students miss the social environment of school. And last week, our guest was Nicole Parker, who is a family therapist here in Manteca. And she also contracts work here at East Union. And she talked about, she talked a little bit about mental health and growth and the importance of the socialization during this crucial time in the development of your children. That was a great evening we had, and we are actually, we have the recording of that online if you want to catch it online. We also had a presentation by one of our teachers about the East Union website. I encourage each one of you to utilize the website. We try to keep it as updated as possible so that you guys are getting the most current information. And the website also has, in addition to resources, a place where you can make appointments with your counselor and so on and so forth. So had a great night a couple weeks ago. Next month, we'll probably only meet the one time instead of twice, but I have a good lineup for next time as well on February 11th. Mr. Moore, did you want to add anything to this? Okay, it doesn't sound like it. I have one person I'd like to introduce.
Oh, sorry, slow.
I'm sorry, go right
no,
ahead.
I'm unmuting. No, I do not. Thank you. Good job.
Okay. So moving on with the program, Mr. Khalil, Mr. K, he is going to introduce himself. And while he introduces himself, I am going to give him co-hosting privileges so that he can share screen and teach us about the necessary apps that we need in order to do school from our phones. Right?
Thank you. Yeah, as soon as you give me those presentation privileges, maybe I logged into a different account. My bad. But yeah, go ahead and click on me. And
I think I already have. Go ahead and check.
I do not have it. I do not have it at all. But go ahead and click on me, and then you can be able to, with a simple right click, you should be able to make it. If you can't, I can log in quickly with my other account. All right. So in the meantime, I can go ahead and, like you said, introduce myself.
So I have you as co-host, but I'm going to make.
I can do it now.
Say it again.
I can do it now. I see it. Perfect.
It took a minute. Well, I just changed you to host. So my waiting room, if somebody comes up on my waiting room, just make sure you admit them, okay?
Got you. Oh, I will keep an eye out. Okay, are we ready to roll? Can I do my thing?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hello, everyone. Really happy for those of you who join us tonight. It's awesome when parents get involved, because when parents get involved, every part of the job gets better. Now, my name is Khalil, or Khalil Abouhamed. Everyone calls me Mr. K, and I am one of the resident tech trainers, whether they're students or teachers or principals or parents. I'm the guy, and you guys can always message me if you have any problems at all. I always have also a little student platoon of tech helpers as well. So whatever the tech needs, we got you covered. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. And I am here, believe it or not, on my phone. So welcome to my phone. I already killed all my notifications and turned everything else off. I figured instead of just telling you guys how to better help your kids, might as well show you. So I'll be the app guy tonight. So I made a little bubble there on the left side. I'm going to click on that. And I am going to now walk you guys through all the best apps. Now, there's a mindset about smartphones, as most teachers despise them, but their student tablets are going to be given in when they leave high school, but these phones are going to stay in their pocket for a lifetime. You parents spend so much money on these phones, and we just want to help you get your investment, get a good return on the investment. So I always tell students, phones can make us smarter or dumber. It all depends on how you use them. I'm going to teach you guys how to use them and help your kids use them to the best of their abilities. Ready, set, here we go. First app on the top left, that is the Teams app. That's what we use every single day. I'll click in there. And this is perhaps the most important app you could imagine. I'll get to my Teams right here. You can see all the teams. The bottom left there, activity. I'm not going to show you everything because there are some messages from teachers and students that should be private. But down the bottom left, I'm going to walk you through the app. Bottom left is activity. Every notification, whenever you're mentioned, whenever someone sends you a message, whenever a new assignment is released, or whenever you're invited to a meeting online, all of that shows up there. For anyone who might use, say, an Instagram or Facebook or whatnot, that's like your news feed. All the things that happen that involve you in any way will show up right there. The second one down there is chat. That works just like any other chat app out there. Snapchat or WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, you name it. Students can chat one another. They can make groups. Coaches, counselors, principals, teachers can also chat as well. Really helpful. You can share files, send things. It's fantastic. And then the teams, all my teams are here. I have quite a few, as you can see. But your kids will see all of their teams being all their classes listed right here. You can go ahead and click on any single one of them. They're all listed by teacher or name. And once you get in there, let's go ahead and we'll click on my English 3 class. And you can see the recordings I've done. You can click over here. Any files are shared there. And there's even more. You can class notebooks some teachers use. They can check their grades on there if teachers use that. Some teachers do, some teachers don't. And I made some homemade tabs as well. Student Connect is a nice one. We'll get back to that later. Now here, you guys can see your kids might have more assignments, but when you click on the Assignments tab, you can see there's various assignments that are out there. What's nice about this, it will list every single assignment from every single class and have the due date for every single one of them. So all a student has to do is go ahead and click on that. They can do it on their tablets as well, except these buttons will be on the left side instead of at the bottom. But they can go ahead and click on these and in one click, see every single assignment assigned from every single class along with the due dates. And when something is late, it all shows up in red to draw their attention to this assignment. Hey, look at me, I'm late. Gotta handle me right now. And even in the past, where I see drafts of things that I haven't done yet, they'll see past assignments. And even to the bottom, for your students, I have the teacher view. For your students, these will be completed assignments. So they can even revisit things for later. And what I love here, you got your calendar, all these things coming along right here. And when you have other apps there, and teachers can add other apps as they go. So that there, in my opinion, is the most important app we could all deal with. But there's one more team, before we leave Teams, I want to show you all about. You see down here, there's 2 that don't look like they belong to school. This here is All Good Things. And we can send on information afterwards. I am the advisor for Key Club, and we have a mental health group. We're not professionals, we're not psychologists, but this is a team any student can join if they just want a good feel-good moment. Even if it's for 2 minutes between classes, it could be something cute, it could be something funny, it can be something inspirational. Let's see here. So a slice of apple pie in Jamaica is $2. It is $2.50 in the Bahamas. These are the pie rates of the Caribbean. All right, so little things like that. A lot of students, they miss school, and not the same without it, but you can click on that team, have a quick little chuckle. Sometimes that's all it takes to get you in the right mode to learn. And the next one down here, any student can join, and a lot of teachers are using this too. We have a student by the name of Chase Zwicky. He is incredible, and we're going to share some more information. He has a YouTube channel, Chase EU, and he also manages this student support channel. Any student can join. Mr. Fritzen appears to be the #1 customer, by the way. You can go ahead and list any at all issue or question or problem with technology and get near instant support from Chase, myself, or other people. So these are resources, and the beautiful thing is it's all in Teams. Let's go ahead and jump to another app, Outlook. The thing I'll say about this here, we got a lot right here. I'm not gonna go ahead and click on everything, there we go. But what you can see is on the left, bottom left, you see your emails, you can search for any file or anything, and you once again have your calendar. Now, a lot of phones have mail apps already there, calendar apps already there. So if you want to add your school email to those apps instead of downloading a new app, that choice is yours. But the Outlook app keeps it simple and separate. Next up is OneDrive. I know I'm going quickly. Like I said, you guys can notify me anytime if you have more questions. OneDrive is an online drive. That's all it is. So I got some homemade folders. You don't want to know what mashed potato brain is, but that's what a lot of people are feeling these days. Now, with OneDrive, it's an online drive. Maybe you have an iPhone. iCloud is the same thing. Maybe you have a Gmail account. Google Drive is the same thing. It's just an online space where you can save all your files. Every student and teacher and worker in MUSD has a full terabyte of free storage. If you don't know what a terabyte is, that's about 1,000 HD movies. It's big enough so that students and teachers alike, students can spend all 12, 13 years in MUSD. Teachers can teach a full 30, 40-year career, and they will likely never, ever run out of space. And the beauty thing is, if everything is saved to OneDrive, a PowerPoint, a Word file, you name it, it can always be accessible from anywhere in the entire world, as long as you have an internet connection. Office.com, you can log into your OneDrive. What's beauty is that your tablet can die, no biggie. You have the OneDrive app, you can still access your stuff. Let's say your tablet breaks, no biggie. You get your loaner or a new tablet, you log in, all your stuff is saved online. So that is why I encourage everyone to always save things to OneDrive. If you have, iffy internet at home, you can also save a copy on your tablet as well. But that is huge. A lot of you parents that have kids with an Xbox, they know what OneDrive is. They might save it for screenshots and video clips of when they rage on Call of Duty, but I digress. Next up, PowerPoint, Word, and Excel. Also, we have OneNote. These 4 apps here, PowerPoint, Word, Excel, and OneNote, these are production apps. I can go ahead and click on one, and I'm already signed into it, but these are things from students, things from myself, California State Park. I was doing an example for my students. What's lovely about this here, I can just go ahead. I think I deleted all, here we go. We got WASC. So I can open up something on my phone. And again, let's say, for example, we go ahead and we lose our tablet or it's dead. You have the PowerPoint app. You can go in and keep working on your stuff. I've had students in the past where by the time they become a senior, they're actually better working on PowerPoint and Word on their phone than they are their tablet. And I actually love that because that's the device they're going to be keeping. That's the device that is going to help or hurt them moving into adulthood. So you have Word as well, you have Excel, you have OneNote, and with any one of these, you open it up. I can't really show you how to sign in. I might be able to, but since I'm already signed in on my phone, every other app signs in on itself. So you sign into one MUSD or Microsoft app, all the others you download, you're automatically signed in. So get started. Okay, well, get started. We want to get started. I'm not going to do everything for you, but I'm already signed in, all these apps. So pretty much every teacher will use Word. Most teachers use PowerPoint. You'll see some math in some classes, mostly math, or English, sorry, Excel in most math classes, some others as well. And then OneNote, some teachers use it all the time, not always, but they're free downloads and they don't take up much space. Next up is this one here, Microsoft Stream. It's basically Microsoft's version of YouTube, much less successful, but there's a lot of students that might go ahead or teachers that use this to record their lessons And this is exactly what you use to access them, if not on your tablet, then on your phone. Now, the last app I'll show you today, and I believe I'm coming right up on my 15-minute allotment, so perfect timing, is the MUSD app itself. So we can go ahead and click on in here. And the wonderful thing about this, okay, I'll just go ahead and close this in. So you can go ahead and enter your school there. I didn't really want to, but you have Stay Current, our news feeds, Facebook, Twitter. I believe Instagram is actually through there as well. Could be mistaken. And then you have on the right, you got some notifications, but here's what I want to show you all. Our new board members there. Hello, everyone. Parent connection. That's what I want everyone to be able to use. So a lot of you parents already use it, but you can go ahead and click on that and you can actually get that's embedded now in the MUSD app. So counselors can help you go ahead and get signed in. A lot of people might just use Student Connection and sign in under their student's name. But the beauty thing is this allows you to go ahead and check out the parent connection piece. Go ahead and it'll allow you to stay up on grades, attendance, other notifications, things of that nature. So with that being said, this is the very much the express version, very much the express version of everything. But like I always say, and like I said to all our fellow teachers when we were training like crazy in March and April, I'll teach you the best I can, but there's no better teacher than tinkering around with it yourself. So download the apps, sign in, click around. Don't worry, nothing's going to explode or blow up in your hands. And you're always just a click away from getting out of everything as well. So if you want to be super involved, the top three are the ones I very much recommend, especially Teams. Then you have Outlook and OneDrive for communication and file storage. PowerPoint, Word, Excel, and OneNote are specific to teachers and creation of work. Microsoft Stream, if a teacher records a lot of lessons, that could be useful. And then as parents, the MUSD app is an absolute must. So for MUSD, I say it's an MUST. And there's your cheesy dad joke of the day. And then Tarsha or Miss Taylor Godfrey, can we open it up for questions now? Was that the routine?
Yes. So you're telling me that if a kid is in the car driving to Yosemite with his parents, he can still do school?
I have students saying that all the time. And what I like to do, since I'm an English teacher, it's all about reading, writing, listening, speaking. I don't really care all the time about what they're doing it about. But I'll say straight up, if you can't do your work today, I'll count your participation. Take a couple of cool pictures, write a paragraph or so, tell me about your day, and call it a day. That's basically a parent-provided field trip for one, I call it. But short answer is yes. I'm still working on short answers. My apologies.
All right, parents, are there any questions that you'd like to ask Mr. K before we move on to our guest?
All right, so let me go stop sharing my screen then.
And make me the host again.
Okay, and I also let Mr. Mora into the room as well.
Okay.
All right, so again, if you have any questions, and I really mean this, you can go ahead and just directly email me. Ms. Taylor Godfrey can share my contact information. I also have, again, a whole platoon of students. Chase has now recruited some lieutenants. And so whatever it is from a parent, teacher, student perspective, when it comes to technology, we got you covered, okay? None of us are gonna get any worse, but we can always get better. And we have people here to support you in that. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Make me the host before you hang up.
Oh goodness, I will. I was just about to go ahead. I got a baby and a toddler in there, so my my time is very borrowed right now. Make hosts, yes.
Thank you.
You are the host. We good?
Yes. Sochi, I am going to give you host privileges or co-host privileges so that you can project.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. second. Parents, as we are moving into our special guest tonight, do you have any questions or that you want to bring up about school or resources? I know one parent was mentioning getting her child help, and I think the most underused resource right now is support period. Support period is our time between 2:45 and 3:30 where teachers are available either in person to students or on teams to students in order to give them a little bit more personalized help. I think that is our most underutilized resource right now, is that support period on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at 2:45.
Are we ready? I think. Let's see.
Yep.
All right. So my name is Sochi Marian. I'm the school-based counselor from Valley Community Counseling. I've been a counselor for 12 years with Valley already. I've been at elementary schools and high schools. Currently, I am at East Union 2 days a week, and I'm at Lathrop Elementary 3 days a week. So I just wanted to share a little bit about what we do. We provide social and emotional services for students at MUSD. Let's see. Sorry, I'm kind of new at this with this sharing on Zoom. We support, right now I want to talk a little bit about the support we're giving for families and students during the pandemic. We have counselors available on campus 4 days a week at East Union's other schools as well, hopefully more. We're going to be getting more days. Referrals can be made by parents, students, and staff. And then right now with distance learning, we are able to meet with kids on campus and also through Teams, of course, following proper guidelines. So we thought right now it's important to talk about what's going on with the pandemic and how it's affecting our students and the children and actually the whole families. Surveys have found, there are studies that have found that 80% of students have experienced negative impact on their mental health due to the pandemic, and 20% of students say that their mental health has significantly worsened. So right now we're wondering, when do I ask for help? When do I refer my kid? So it's basically anytime the student's emotional well-being interferes with them doing everyday life tasks. So what we're seeing more of right now with the students is high anxiety and depression. So I'm going to give you some examples and what to look for. There's different types of anxiety. Anxiety is a natural reaction to a stressful situation, especially now with what's going on. But if it starts interfering with them doing everyday life tasks, then we need to stop and take a look at that and see what we can do and kind of focus on the different kinds also of anxiety that there is. Right now, what we're seeing a lot of is social anxiety, which is avoiding social situations. A lot of kids are not wanting to come out and be around or go to school, especially after the lockdown. Generalized anxiety, panic disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder. I've also heard that a lot of kids are having a hard time because of pandemic and the having to clean their hands all the time and worried that they're going to get sick. So some of the common symptoms of anxiety to look for is trouble sleeping, complaining about stomach aches and other physical problems, avoiding situations so in fact, like for social anxiety, they would not want to come to school, avoiding and wanting to stay online instead of trying to come back on campus. Exhibiting clingy behaviors around parents or caregivers, trouble focusing in class, disruptive behaviors or explosive outbursts, and overly self-conscious behaviors. Depression is another thing that we're seeing a lot because of the social isolation that kids are having, not being able to go out or spend time with friends. Right now, socializing at this age is very important. So it's important to find safe ways for kids to interact with their friends. Some of the common, well, depression is more than just being sad or having bad days. I mean, there's days when we're sad or upset, but some of the symptoms we need to watch out for and that are more concerned are unusual sadness and irritability, persisting even when circumstances change, loss of interest in activities that they enjoyed, reduced feelings of anticipation, changes in weight, shifts in sleep patterns, like sleeping too much or not sleeping enough, feeling like tired, harsh self-assessment, like saying I'm ugly, I'm no good, I'll never make friends, feeling of worthlessness, hopelessness, and thoughts or attempts to suicide. That's something that I think is something I'm seeing a lot more of. Kids are not socializing, not coming out. So they're starting to feel depressed. They're not seeing their friends. They can't go out. They can't do things that they used to. So it's very important to keep an eye on those symptoms. And of course, the community resources that we have available, there's some of the resources, but if you see any of those symptoms, you need to do a referral, or I encourage you, to reach out to a teacher, staff, or even us, the counselors were available, and make a referral so we can check in with the child, and then we can do an assessment and see what kind of services we can provide. And I think I went too fast, but do you guys have any questions?
So, what times a day do you generally see students?
We can see students all day from 8 o'clock to 3:30. Most of the kids want us to see them after or during their breaks, depending on the students. Some students will ask, since we are meeting through Teams, they'll be able to chat with us, send us a chat and see if we can meet once they're done with their work also.
Do they need parent permission in order to see you?
Yes, we definitely, first time we see it, we can meet a child once without permission. So if there's a referral made by a staff or a parent or a student, we can see the student once. And once we see the student, we need permission to be able to see them. So it's very important to follow through and follow up with that, because we are not allowed to see students if we don't have permission. We can get verbal, but we prefer a signed paper.
So, are there things like, if we used a recorded version of your presentation right now that kids use to kind of to identify some of the things they're going through, are there strategies that they can even start trying at home to help them, reduce the anxiety level?
Well, I do have for parents, first of all, because I know parents, that's the one thing that, they are having a hard time with. If the parents notice any of this, I would say talk it out. That's the first thing. When a kid is expressing these feelings of anxiety, validate their feelings, tell them their experience or whatever they're doing, let them know, okay, you hear them and you understand what they're going through, and then appreciate what they're saying, tell them, appreciate the courage that they have for actually asking for help and talking about it, and then refer the kid out. For anxiety, it depends what the child is feeling. What kind of anxiety? Like I said, there's social anxiety, there's panic disorder, there's OCD. So it depends what kind of anxiety the child is experiencing. But we do have a lot of coping skills that we can provide and practice with them. So like I said, again, refer, and refer. Any other questions?
Any of the parents that are on the call, I always like to hear what people's experience has been with distance learning and then hybrid, and how your student specifically is doing during this time. I know Crystal spoke a little bit earlier, but I would love to hear more from the parents about how this time is affecting your child, and what things you would like to see us do in order to support you and to support your student. I know one person wrote in the chat, they have a question about support period. Can you identify if the class period is mandatory? And I did answer back that no, it's not mandatory, which is probably the reason why it's so underutilized.
We do have apps available also that have coping strategies that kids could use. One of them is Calm Harm, and I know Kaiser also has one. And so, like I said, you could always reach out to us. I want to be available for the parents, hopefully in the mornings, so they can give us a call. And if they have any questions, we can give them resources available to them and their families.
Hi, I don't know. I'm speaking from a professional, well, I'm just from my work. We do, just today we had a Zoom event for the whole company. And I know like on campus, you guys may periodically have rallies, something where all the students come together. Is there anything that could be done in that sense virtually?
Yeah, we just got some approval to start having rallies on campus in small groups. So we're probably, since we have AB Day, we know for sure it's going to have to be, you know, 2 days, and we can have use the stadium, which spreads students a lot farther apart. So we have done a couple of online virtual rallies, but of course they're not going to be as effective as the in-person. And we probably will video those so that the students that are online can kind of engage at least as best as possible.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean, even personally speaking and working from home exclusively, and that social aspect you get from peers is definitely missing. And that's something that I've definitely seen as a struggle for my kids. And,
yeah, we actually were talking, because we do something called, we have Link Crew, and they do small group networking with freshmen to acclimate them. And we're talking about being able to implement that now, how we could do that. So things are starting to loosen up a little bit with what we're able to do with gathering. You know, it's just, we're so afraid to put children at risk. But I think now that we're kind of getting a hold of how we can socially distance, we're not seeing any students, you know, kind of spread the virus amongst themselves on campus. Most of the cases that we do have come from, you know, from the home or the outside environment. So I think we're kind of seeing the data that we're not really spreading it on our campuses. So we're able to do some small group things, I think, safely.
Okay, good. Yeah, I guess I was just more specifically thinking if, you know, that is a concern, you know, to have something virtual, like maybe on a Wednesday where everyone's at home, they could all tune in, something like that. That's kind of where I was going with it. But I'm glad to hear that something's in the works, so that's good.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea. I think on Wednesday I can share that with Miss Kano and Miss Runyon, who kind of organized a lot of those activities.
Have your kids expressed want to see anything in particular?
No, I think because it's fresh in my mind, because we just had my own work event today had something like that, and it was really good to see, even on screen, people I haven't seen in like almost a year. It was kind of good to see everybody, and we had different themes, different things going on throughout the day. It was more for like a work meeting, but we had like a guest speaker come in. We had prizes, giveaways, contests, stuff like that we were still able to incorporate virtually. So that's where I was thinking in more of that realm.
We just had a couple more people join us that weren't in on the beginning of the conversation, and we've had a really good presentation by VCC, by Soshi. And are there any other questions for the parents that have that heard the presentation? Anything in particular that their children or their students have expressed as something they want to see or want to do in the campus environment? Hi, Melissa, I remember you from last time. Okay, well, if we have no further questions, or then I guess we can end our meeting a little bit early tonight. Did you have any final words, Soshi? I think you're on mute.
I just really encourage parents to give us a call. We can give a lot of information. Reach out. We have a lot of information on different topics. And like the mother said of the child, social interaction is very important, and it's affecting these students a lot. And so it's important for them to have somebody to talk to them. Like I said, I know some of them are tired of doing the video, but we can meet them in person, and we can also do video or chat with them, just a check-in basis, just to make sure they're okay. I have a lot of kids that, you know, just want to check in, somebody to say, hey, how you doing? Every week we'll just do a quick chat, and they're really enjoying that, you know. Just so I encourage them, you know, to talk and to talk about their family, because, you know, kids get affected by these things when they see it over and over again, what's going on. It affects them, especially the younger ones. I know we're talking about high school kids, but I'd say to make sure you keep an eye on the younger ones, because if you're watching news and you're watching all these social media and they keep seeing it over and over, it's something that's in their head, and they think it's happening every day, and it could have been something that happened last week. So it's very important to discuss these things with the younger ones. And it could be affecting them in different ways, like behaviors, especially with the little ones. You know, little things like that affects them a lot, and they feed off of the adults and the people that they see. So if you're, you know, having a hard time and you're having signs of anxiety, kids seem to sometimes do the same thing, the younger ones, and they pick it up. So it's important just to give us a call if you have any questions, and we can definitely do referrals or resources that you can use from home yourself.
Thank you. So with that, by tomorrow afternoon, I know some people got on the call late. This is a recorded meeting. The meeting in its entirety will be up on the website. Again, if you weren't at the last meeting, it's already on the website. It was also a very good meeting. Next month, we are going to have a conversation about vaping and vape education for parents. Not next week, I'm sorry, February 11th. And I have a guest from the Sacramento area who works for the Soul Grant, who is an anti-smokeless tobacco, well, not smokeless tobacco, but vaping tobacco organization that gives, you know, grant monies for students to learn about vaping in order to be advocates against it. So we have a guest, and what I'm finding is that students, even though they're at home, are still accessing things, drugs, vape materials, and you know, it seems like they shouldn't be, because you know, you want to think if the kid's out of your sight that they're not accessing. But I personally have had contact with several students who have been in situations where they've OD'd. And so kids are finding access to these things. And we just want to make sure the parents are in the know. So definitely encourage a friend to join in with us next time. With that, we're going to sign out. Thank you.
Thank you, Sochi. Thank you,
You're
Tarsha.
welcome.
Thank you
Good
guys.
night.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Thank you.
Tarsha, quick question.
Yeah.
I have a parent that wanted to speak to me. Is there any way I can talk to them, connect with them on here, or is it?
Yeah. So do you want to, you wanted me to just leave the meeting open?
Sure, that's fine. And just, yeah.
Okay. So I am not going to end the meeting. I'm just going to leave the meeting.
And stop the recording, right?
Let me do that real quick. Thank you for saying that.